Although this is a small dialogue, please switch off the mic. Although this is a small dialogue of King Edward II, but this is very much important in that way that although he has been arrested and he has been kept in Killingworth Castle, he has been mentally tortured, physically oppressed, emotionally abused, but still then he is fighting. Still then the king is struggling against the cruelty of the Mortimer. And they are shocked, they are surprised. The soldiers, those who have been kept to only to torment the king, they are surprised. They are not providing proper clothing, proper rest. There is no proper bed for to sleep in, and there is no proper food as a king should take. Just food is thrown into his cell, but still then he is not dying. He is surviving. He is struggling. They are surprised that why even a soft king like Edward II, he is not dying. He is surviving. He is struggling. Why? They are surprised. And they are asking why you are not surrendering, why you are not dying. He answers in this dialogue that just like a rain word, it is a small word, it is a very soft word, it can be killed easily. He says, the rain strive against the lion's strength. You have seen it on the Geography Channel that the dangerous animals chase the animals to eat them. Or in that way, whenever he catches a a word is a very soft, very small animal in comparison with the terrorizing lion or tiger. What happens there? The words, they try their best to escape from the dangerous paws of the lion. Although it is in vain, there is no benefit. They cannot run, they cannot escape from these dangerous paws. Their fortune is certain 100% that they will be killed and they will be eaten by the tiger or lion, but still they struggles. Still a rain world struggles are hard so that it may be saved or it may run away from the clutches of the lion. She knows very well that she will not be successful in that mission. In the same way, king says, replies the soldiers that he will fight like a rain bird in the clutches of the dangerous lion. He knows very well that he will not be successful. He will die at last. But at last, on the last stage of his life, he would struggle. He would fight against the cruelty of Mortimer. He will not surrender mentally, emotionally. But all in vain, so vainly do I strive. As it is no use of a struggle of the word, because it is very powerless, and a tiger and a lion is very powerful, but still it struggles. In the same way, the king will struggle also. He will not give in. He will not be defeated. In that way, he is striving hard to struggle against the cruelty, to seek for mercy at a tyrant hand. There is a chance that he may get mercy, pity from the tyrant. Who is tyrant? Tyrant is the young Mortimer, his unfaithful wife, who has deceived him and joined the hands with young Mortimer, who is the enemy of the king. So in that way he is struggling. No, this is very important line in that way, that this shows that the king has lost everything in his life, but still then he hasn't been defeated. He is still striving, struggling to save himself, although it is not possible that he would be saved, but still he hasn't surrendered. Still he is fighting. And actually, this is the act of that king that arouses pity among us. The readers are sympathetic towards the king. You feel the pain of the king. No? So this is the style of his struggle that influences us actually. Okay, now this is the concluding scene of King Edward II, and this dialogue that has been taken from Act 5, Scene 5 also. This is important dialogue of King Edward II, that when he has been kept in the castle, Killingworth Castle, and he has been tortured physically and mentally and emotionally, but still he is surviving. He is struggling against the cruelty of Mortimer. When Lightborn comes, he behaves like friendly. Because he behaves friendly, so that's why he is successful in arousing the faith of the king in him. And king starts talking him friendly, as if he is his friend. King thinks that this person is sympathetic towards him. So that's why he offers his last jewelry, so that Lightborn should not kill him. Rather, he should listen his sad story and have pity and have mercy for him, and he may allow to free him. No, but it is not possible. Actually, Lightborn himself is the killer that has been sent by young Mortimer. He is behaving in that fashion. Why? Because he wanted to take the king into the confidence, so that he should not protest. Because if he will protest, he will want to save his life. There would be fight or a struggle, and there will be injury mark on the body of the king. And because Lightborn has been especially instructed by young Mortimer that it should be cunningly killed, so that there should not be any proof behind the murder. Why? So that to make himself innocent, show him innocent. There should not be any suspicion on young Mortimer. Although he is behind the murder of King Edward, he has already planned everything, but still then he is afraid that if the news comes to the knowledge of new king, certainly he will punish him. So that's why he has planned in that way that king will be murdered and there will be no suspicion thrown on young Mortimer. So that's why here the dialogue is there of King Edward. Oh, would my blood dropped out from every vein, as doth this water from my tattered robes. Tell Isabella the queen, I looked not thus, when for her sake I ran a tilt in France, and there unhorsed the Duke of Claremont. Now the king has been very emotional. Why? Because he knew very well that now he is going to surrender his life. Within few minutes or hours he will be murdered by Lightborn or anybody else that has been sent by young Mortimer. And he knows very well that this is possible only because his unfaithful wife has deceived him, and she has joined hands with young Mortimer. She has started loving him, rather her husband. That's why he is quite aware that only Isabella is responsible for his doom, his catastrophe. For this unfortunate situation, his wife Isabella is responsible. So that's why he also requests Lightborn, so please convey this message to my unfaithful wife Isabella, that once King Edward has married her, and how valorously, how boldly he has fought for her, and he has defeated the King of France, Duke of Claremont, and he has married her. So he wanted to send this message to his wife, so that she may feel pity. Here the lines. Oh, would my blood dropped out from every vein, as doth this water from my tattered robes. Actually, he knows very well that he would be murdered, and his blood will ooze out from his body and shed there in the dungeon, in the channel water, as his clothes are tattered and dirty. This would also blood stain. This will have blood stain. So she should feel pity for me. I am living a pitiable life, even very difficult to face this. And he is also sending this message and recollecting his young life. He is recollecting the time when he has gone to France and fought with the Duke of Clermont, and after defeating him, he has married his wife, Queen Isabella. So he has been recollecting the emotional moments between them. Na? Once she was young and beautiful. She was very known for her wisdom. And the king, Edward II, he was attracted towards her. And he has gone to marry her. So actually he wanted to recollect these good moments of their lives. Why? The purpose is quite clear that in that way Queen Isabella should pity him. She should recollect her happy moments, and she may relent upon the king. No, because there was good relationship between them. They were wife and husband, and he has fought very confidently, boldly, valorously, and has defeated the another competitor, and he has married her. So this is the message that he wanted to convey it to his wife, so that she may recollect the good moments, happiest moments, and she may relent upon him. She may at last free him. That is the last wish, no? That is the thinking of the king. But whether it is possible, really she would relent on him. Is it possible? Although he is trying his best to recollect the happiest moment of their lives when they were young and they have married. But really she would come to that point and she would have pity for him, for her husband. It doesn't seem practical, no? Because she has already left him. She has already traveled a lot of distance. So now she would not return. No, it is not possible that she would return and save her husband and normal life will begin. It is not possible. Everything is destroyed now. The king has lost everything. He has nothing, and there is no relationship that he can rely upon. No, this is the fact. Even he is not, and he at last he was thinking that his son may also save him, but nobody saves him because the son was a teenager and he was not in a position to save his father. Although he was very inquisitive that what is going on with his father. He wanted to know it, but he was misguided by his mother or young Mortimer. He was never told truth. But when he becomes of his age, at last he takes everything into his hand, and at last he retaliates against young Mortimer for the death of his father. Now, is it clear? This is the last dialogue of young Mortimer, because after that dialogue he is no more. He has been punished. He was beheaded by the order of the new king, King Edward III, the son of the previous king, King Edward II. Now, so now he is taking farewell to each and every day, everybody. That now he is leaving this world. Whatever he has done in his life, he is not repentant of. So that's why he is happy. And that's why he is happy to live this life, because he has concluded his life. Whatever he wanted to fulfill in his life, he has already fulfilled. So there is nothing that has remained unfulfilled. So that's why he is happy while leaving the world. Young Mortimer is very much confident, even at the last point of his life. He challenges in that way. Base fortune, now I see that in thy will there is a point to which men aspire. Actually, he becomes very philosophic. Just like in the last scene, you have uh, observed Baldock, now who was going to be murdered now, he was also content of his life, and he wanted to die with a happy face. In the same way, young Mortimer is now going now. He is dying. He has been ordered that he would be beheaded in the retaliation of the late king by the order of the young new king of that nation. So he says that the time is revolving, and everybody who is born on that earth has to surrender him, has to die him. So that's why he says that the time is revolving, and that particular time has come when Mortimer has to die. So now this is his fortune. They tumble headlong down. This is the irony of the man, that man thinks himself to be very powerful. He engages himself in conspiracy. He wants to become the king of the nation. He wants to gather property, wealth, treasury. But once the time comes when it stops everything, and there is nothing that can give him any solace. So that's why this is the last time the curtain of his life is going to be drawn. This is his last day, and he has to be murdered now. And seeing there was no place to mount of higher, at that juncture he was happy. Why he was happy? He was happy of his life, that he was just a baron, simple baron. But he was powerful. He was a dominating baron. Even he was not the king of this nation, but still he was so powerful that the all barons respected him. He became the protector of the new king. Although he was not the king of the nation, he became the king of the king. No, he became so powerful that everybody was scared of him. Everybody respected him. And there was no higher place in that life that he has to achieve. Whatever was possible to achieve in his life, young Mortimer has already achieved. He has fulfilled all his desire. Whatever he wanted in his life, he achieved it. So now he is happy, even he is going to die. He is going to leave this world. So that's why happily he says, why should I grieve at my declining fall? Now this is his decline. Now he has surrendered. Now it is his last time. But still he is happy. He further says that why he should be unhappy? He should be happy because whatever he wanted is in his life, he has achieved it already. So why should be unhappy? Now he scorns, weep not for Mortimer. Now he says to Queen Isabella, because Queen Isabella has dreamed something, that after deceiving her husband, King Edward II, she wanted to live with young Mortimer. She wanted to marry him. That is the fact. But for what she has deceived her husband, now he is going to be killed. This is the fortune. No? So that's why he says farewell to Isabella, because she might be repenting. No? She might be missing him. So that's why she says in that way, fair Queen Isabella, weep not for Mortimer. No, there is no need to weep for me. I'm going to leave this world forever. That scorns the world. This Mortimer hates this world, scorns this world, because he is just a traveler. Mortimer says about himself that he was a traveler. So that's why he has completed traveling this city, this country, England, and now he is leaving this world forever and goes to discover countries yet unknown. Now he will take rebirth, and he will explore the new country where nobody has gone. No. So in this way, the curtain of his life is being drawn. He is dying, but he is dying with a happy face. He is satisfied. Although he was a Machiavellian character, his objective in life was only to achieve the goal, whatever he wanted in a life, whatever desire was there in his life, he has already fulfilled, and there is nothing to fulfill anything that is remain unfulfilled. So that's why he is happy, and he is dying with happiness. No, this is very important line, because this is the last concluding line of young Mortimer. This young Mortimer was the very important character throughout this drama, because he was not a king, but he has behaved like a king. He was a simple baron, but he has influenced all the barons. No? Even a simple person, he became the protector of the new king. He was very powerful. At last, he also was successful in occupying the wife of the late king, Edward II. So in this way, he thinks that he has achieved everything in his life. Nothing is unfulfilled. So that's why he is happy. No? And he leaves this world with a happy face. So in this way, the story concludes here. No?